everybody, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I do a multi-flower design on this green gloss wine bottle. I have already wiped it off. This one is a bottle that I use for my videos. It's not one that I'm going to sell, so I'm just going to do the front very quickly and show you a few little different flower types mixed together. And hopefully, if you're a beginner painter, it'll be something that you will be able to create easily. I am going to be using 3 Amagic flat brushes, 14, 12, and 10, and then a number 6 round brush, and a number 8 Deerfoot stippler. Paint I'm using today is all FolkArt paints, using Peridot, magenta, wicker white, skull bush yellow, burnt umber, thicket, and autumn leaves. Now all of those are FolkArt paints, a combination of multi-surface and enamels. And I do put affiliate links down below in my videos so that if you'd like to make a purchase, you can do that through my affiliate links that you'll see underneath the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use the number 14 first. I'm going to dip one side into the autumn leaf, another side into the wicker white, and then just do my blending strokes. Proper loading, you do your blending strokes till you have 3/4 of the brush filled with paint. I'm going to tell you that I don't really stick to that strictly, but you know, that's up to you. And the reason I say that is, you know, when you start to paint, you're going to come up with your own style, your own feeling when you're loading stuff or when you're painting. So, you know, take what you can when you're listening to someone and then apply what feels comfortable to you. Also keeping in mind that I am a lefty, so if I am painting in one direction and it doesn't feel comfortable to you, then you need to go, like I go from right to left. If you're right-handed, it might feel more comfortable for you to go from left to right. All right, so on this stroke, I'm just pushing the brush down and wiggling it, and then coming up and then wiggling it back down. Okay, now you can, if you want, on this, it's going to be a 5-petal flower, but you can do like that and then come up, put more of a tip on it and then spread it out like that, or even do it more if you want. Now when you're painting, the key to this is to apply your paint heavily enough or do a second coat so that you have very opaque coverage. That will allow your design to be a little bit more durable. Because the thicker you paint it, the more durable your design will be. Keeping in mind, you don't want it too thick if you're going to bake it, because then it'll bubble. So like on this one, I can hit it with the heat gun, hair dryer, give it maybe an hour dry time, and go back over it with a second coat. For the purpose of the video, though, I'm not going to do that. Just giving you the options if you should feel the need. All right, so I'm going to go over here, start another petal, and just push the brush down, wiggle, come up to a point, and then come back down and spread it out. I can go back over it again, doing the same thing, pushing it down, and then lift up. And then come over here. I'm not going to do anything fancy as far as curving or folding the leaves, that type of thing, or petals. I'm just going to paint straight petals and then leave it at that. That's the easiest thing to do. You can maybe show some movement or folding of the petals, but on glass it's a little bit harder to do. Not that it can't be done, but for beginners, which is what I try to focus on, it's a little bit more difficult. All right, so we're going to put this here. And I like to work in odd numbers as much as possible. So again, you're just pushing your brush down and wiggling it. You can come up to a point, spread it out a little bit, and then pull it up. So if you're an experienced painter, you're welcome to use my channel just for design ideas, add your own twist to it. You're welcome to do that. Because I like to provide design ideas also. Yeah, because you know, for some people, they're more experienced painters, so they can obviously do more than what I'm showing here, and I get it, that's fine. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add in the next style of flowers. Going to use the number 12 flat brush, dip it into the magenta and the wicker white. Now you can use different color combinations. I gravitate towards the white because it has more pigment in it and it helps with adding the opaqueness to my design. But if you want to do different color combinations or more than two, that's great. All right, so on this one, it's going to be very simple. All I'm doing is on the chisel edge of my brush, and then I push down and pull. Push down and pull. And just go around. Now on this one, because I'm just going to do a dot for the center, I do kind of want this to meet up pretty nicely in the center without a big gap. So that's what I'm going to make sure that it does. If I were using the Deerfoot Stippler for this part, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But I'm not. I'm just going to use a dot. Simple, simple. And I'm intentionally making my strokes different lengths, I should say, not different levels, but different lengths. And then just pulling towards the center. This one has a big blob, so I don't want that. You don't want big blobs because they'll bubble. If they get too big, they'll bubble. All right, and then I'm just going to look around and see where else I need to add. And you can flatten them out even more, make them wider. They don't have to be thin little petals. And pressure definitely is what determines how your petals are going to turn out. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions or comments, please place those down below the video, that is. And I will do my best to answer. Keep in mind too, when you do little projects like this, it's a great way to keep stuff out of the landfills, as well as cheap, affordable, and relaxing. That's my main thing, is trying to provide you with things that you can do to help just give you some sense of calm. To me, that's very important, especially the older I get. See, time is passing like crazy. Okay, let's see what our center. So I'll make sure that that's going to be good to go. I've got my odd numbers. So then what I'm going to do is pick up my number 10 flat brush, and on this one I like to do different colors, you know, more than one color or more than two colors, sometimes just one color, just depends. But I can actually add a little bit of brown into this and it'll give me more of an olivey color leaf. I can even throw some white in here because when you use the metallic colors, they are not so opaque on your glass. All right, so on this one, I'm just going to do some basic wiggle leaves, just like I'm doing with the flowers, but on this, I'm going to just come back down the other side. Now, I'm noticing, too, this isn't showing up very well, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reverse it. Because sometimes if you know, depending on the color of the glass that you're painting on, you might have to do this, or you can find yourself actually reversing colors on on the whole thing, as far as, you know, some are dark, some are light, that kind of thing. And then I'll do a stem that goes up in here. Maybe a little bit of brown to it. And then I'm going to come over here, round it, pushing down again, and then just pushing down and pulling back. And as you're doing this, if you feel like you need to go over it, go ahead and do it. Once again, same thing, you can give it some dry time or hit it with a heat gun or a hair dryer. Now on this, I'm going to come back through here and pull up a vein or a little vein through it. And I'm going to do some of these little things that just come down. I don't happen to have any paper towels down here with me right now. But I'm doing this just kind of to, you'll see here in a minute, just kind of giving a little filler, maybe like some little buds on top of it. And you can also do this with the round brush, you know, whatever, however you feel comfortable. Not putting a whole lot of these type of, well, I did it again. I definitely need the lighter on the out, but I'm pushing down, kind of swinging it around to tip and coming back down like that. And I will once again put a little stem in it. Stem, vein, not sure. Push it down, swing it around, tip, pull it back up, down. So that way you can see it better, because when I did the first one, I couldn't really see it because the green is so much green. And if I wanted to, I can come down here, maybe even throw in another one. This one is not going to be set up like I have a big stem for it all to hook together. I'm just doing flower or leaves around it. And I talk about this kind of stuff periodically, where I'll do that. And I'm going to do this like it's coming down like that. Just swing this around a little bit. Just kind of fillers. I just hit that in there wrong. And if you feel like they're not thick enough, then go back over them again. I mean, as far as the paint coverage, not the actual limbs. All right, I'm going to do one more set over here. Kind of balance it out, and I'll put some other ones. I'm going to do them right here. All right, so, and you can also, if you want, do like a V shape to give you guidance as far as how you want to make your petal. Oops, and I just put I knew I was doing that. Okay, that's one thing you have to be careful is not to, when you turn your bottle, not to put it down into your design. Okay, so I finished this over here. Then what I'm going to do is figure out some places to put in some filler stems. So let's say we're going to come this direction. I'm going to come through this flower and I'm going to come out like that. And you can always make adjustments to this once you get into doing them. And then let's say we're going to come up here with one. And because I'm doing these a little differently, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the 3. Again, I like to work in odds, but sometimes when you're doing the fillers, I kind of like to see them, even out. Okay, on this, I'm just doing the chisel edge. And I am dipping a little bit into the brown. I want these petals to not be the same size. They can be. There's no rhyme or reason. It's whatever you prefer to do. So chisel edge and pull towards the center. Chisel edge, pull towards the center. Once again, depending on how much pressure you're putting down, that will determine what your petals look like. And anytime you do this, you can actually use different colors to add into it. You don't have to stick with the greens. I'm just sticking with it to do this video, but I'm coming back in here because I started it back in this area, and that was done on purpose. So I'm just kind of including it. This little flower is stuck in here. So that's why these are going over the top of it. If you get what I'm saying. Just gives it an illusion that it is in that flower's around it. Alright, so we're going to come back over here, and I'm trying to not mess up my design here. I'm very good at messing up my designs with rolling my bottles over. And then just do this. Put a little brown in it if you want. Again, I think the key to this is just making the strokes a little bit different as far as size-wise goes. Again, like on this one, if it's too transparent, go back over it again. You can set the stage and get the initial down and come back through it, however you want to do it. I can even come back in and put more white in this. Use different colors of green, brown. Your leaves don't have to be green, I guess is my point. So anyhow, that's a nice little filler flower. Then the next one I'm going to do is going to be just with little leaves. And let's see here. Let's do this. Because I want them to stand out a little bit more, but I don't want it to be too odd because I didn't really do that a lot on this design. Well, it has pink in it, and that's because it's wet. If that kind of stuff bothers you, then definitely give it some drying time. Because when you're painting wet on wet, you're going to pull in the colors from below. Like I said, some of these are just too light, so I got to go back over them again. And then, because of the way it goes through this, and then I'm going to come back out here and continue on. And I'm not paying attention too much to what color's on top and bottom. If you want to pay attention to that, meaning like I have white on here, I have dark on that one, then you can make sure you put your petals going in the same direction color-wise. Very easy. Purpose of the video though, I'm not really too concerned about it. Then I'm going to come back in here and just put little stems in. Like that. Right, last thing I need to do is then add my centers. So I'm going to take the end of this brush. You can see I already did that. Just dip it in the yellow. I can just tap this in here if I need my center to be any bigger. Or I can use, a dotting stylus, one of my clay ball makers. They're pretty big. But I'm just going to use the tip of the brush or the handle to pat it in. Very, very simple. And then I'm going to take this brush, which is my Deerfoot Stippler, one of my favorite brushes to use. I'm just going to put it all in to the brown. I'm not going to, this is going to be more of a loose center. And this is why I wasn't too concerned about that space there, because I knew I was going to come back in and tap in my center. Now this one is a little covered, so I'm just going to lightly tap in one here so you can see a little bit of it. Then I'm going to take the brush, put the tip of it into the yellow, like that. And then I'm just going to come in here and just lightly put in some yellow. Kind of tap it out because I want it just to be, I want it to be in there, but I don't want it to be real specific as far as how it's laid in there. Got a little bit on the pink, but that's all right. All right, very simple. There you have it. Very quick, simple. Oh, I did forget one thing. All right, then I'm gonna take my round brush. Almost forgot. And you could take it, sorry, my phone's going off here. Take the round brush, I just dipped it into the yellow, and what I'm gonna do, and you don't have to do this part if you don't like it, but I'm gonna make it like they're little buds. Now, of course, I don't have a yellow flower, which that's fine. I chose the yellow just for the mere fact that it is a different color, so it stands out. You could do the pink, you could do the orange, however you want to do it, or leave it off. You could actually add more buds, back in here. I'm just going, for the purpose of this video, I'm just doing it on the tips, and it's just a quick little mark with the round brush. Maybe a little bit bigger. There we go. Whoops. I'm going to do 2 here, and there you have it. Almost forgot that little piece. All right, there you go. Just very festive. Flowers can be so uplifting. That's why I like them, is they make me feel happy. Anyways, hope you like this video. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Prior to leaving, if you would, hit the share button that you'll find underneath the video. Share this on your social network with all your family and friends. I would greatly appreciate it. Until the next time, please stay safe and healthy and have a good one.